Hey, everybody. Today is Thursday, September 18th. I do want to apologize for the delay in my video this week. I recorded on Monday, was hoping to have the video out for Tuesday. I am dropping it tonight here, Thursday night at 6 p.m. A little bit of the delay. There was some news that was supposed to come out this week that is now being delayed till next week. And so I have had to edit this following video. I just didn't want to sit on the video for too long because some of the stuff may, age out fairly quickly, but there will be more news coming next week. So, please stay tuned for that. I'm just getting back home from a night in Boston. Had a chance to meet one of my childhood heroes last night, Mr. Wade Boggs, Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. Absolutely amazing guy. Just open and candid, and just a great guy. We had an awesome time with him last night at the Red Sox game. So, anyways, without any further ado, enjoy the video.
They want to see us in the playoffs. They want to see us in the playoffs. I could see y'all play out. Y'all boys gonna lose it, ain't no doubt. Can't use my name for no more clout. If y'all wanna win.
What is up, Maine Mariner fans? It is September 15th. That means we are just 33 days away from opening night, man. Cannot wait for that. How's that roster looking so far to you guys? What other signings are we hoping to see before opening night? We're going to talk about all that right now. Let's get after it, everybody.
They want to see us in the playoffs.
Hope you all had a great weekend. The weather was picture perfect here in southern Maine, a great late summer, early fall type of weekend. Had my kid for the weekend, which was awesome. A lot of energy. We had a lot of fun. We go to White Pine Church in North Yarmouth, Maine, every Sunday, and they had a fall celebration with a cookout and a bounce house and all kinds of stuff. Just a great time. Service was awesome. Had a bunch of baptisms that day. Whole family got baptized all together, which was just so heartwarming. So great to see that. And I would just say, anybody in the Southern Maine area, if you're looking for a home church, or if you're kind of curious about, want to check a church out, what's it all about out there? Come check out White Pine Church in North Yarmouth. I'll put some info down below here. If you feel a little hesitant about wanting to check it out, they do live stream the services every week. There's two services, 8:30 and 10 o'clock. Um, I always go to the 10:30 one. I'm always sitting on the left side. So if you happen to pop in, you've listened to the podcast, come find me, man. I'm sitting on the left side of the church every Sunday with my kid. Just a great place to be. Welcome anybody who has any interest or curiosity. And like I say, if you're feeling a little nervous, don't want to put both feet in quite yet, check out one of the live streams. Great place. So we have that. Then we get home. We watch the New England Patriots beat the Miami Dolphins in Miami on the beach. It's the first time the Pats have won there, I think, since 2019. I mean, even Tom Brady couldn't win there very often. It was always a hard place for the Pats. So great to see that. A great back and forth. That all the kick returns, all that good stuff. Great to see. New coach Mike Vrabel get his first win as a Patriot. But man, the defense is awful. It's just gross. They're going to be competitive. They're not going to be a playoff team unless they can fix the defense. But anyway, always nice when we can beat Miami. And then, of course, we just had the prospect challenge for the NHL wrapped up there in Buffalo, along with rookie camp. A couple of notable names here to keep in mind: Robert Cronin, of course, one of our Maine Mariners, was part of that, along with Ty Shoveldayoff, who is, of course, signed to the Providence Bruins. So I'm sure we're going to learn more about how those experiences went. Great for these young guys, though. I looked up some of the Boston sports media, and they, talking about the prospect challenge. A lot of talk about Mitten in particular, and like Mellis as well. Both, I think, looked all right. But I think probably just a really good experience for these young guys to get in there, rub shoulders with some of these other players, get some good coaching, and should pay off for both of these guys. Of course, Cronin came in last year, coming from UNH. Just an absolutely dynamic fit last year. He was part of that surge when the Mariners started winning games and kind of catching up and made that push to the playoffs. Fell short, of course, but Cronin was just such a huge part that really fit in seamlessly. And of course, for Shoveldayoff, ended up in Jacksonville for most of the season, and the ECHL had signed the AHL contract with Rochester after having signed in Maine. So we didn't get to see him last year. He is signed to a Providence AHL contract. We'll see how camp goes for him. AHL talent, I think, for sure. But I do have a feeling we'll probably see him here in Portland, at least maybe to start the season. But again, we'll see how camps go. A lot of questions around the CBA for minor league hockey for both the ECHL and the AHL. As of the last update I got, there's been really no update to it. Still not signed between the PHPA and the two leagues. According to what I've heard from the Maine Mariners, it's still in process, but no updates. I also don't sense any real worry from the club that there's going to be a work stoppage or anything like that. But it's September 15th. We're getting awfully close. Got to get that piece of business done. So hopefully more to come there. And a bit of sad news today coming out of the world of hockey. 25-year-old Orca Wiesblatt passing away over the weekend. I think it was Sunday. A car accident in British Columbia. Just tragic news. Just heart-sinking type of news. He was set to make his ECHL debut this year for the Allen Americans. Last year played for the Athlone Rock Lobsters of the FPHL. So just heartbreak city for sure, and certainly all the prayers for his family, his friends, his teammates, and everybody affected by this. Goes without saying, far too young, and just very, very sad. So you'll have to transition from that. I don't know how we transition smoothly from talking about that. But, well, let's take a look at the roster. All right, we've got 15 players signed so far. That's 10 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 2 goalies. Of course, this part of the video will be a good review. For any casual fans out there that maybe haven't been checking into hockey all summer, maybe you're like, I wonder what the team looks like. If you diehards out there, you already know all the players and all the stats and all this kind of stuff. But we'll read through real quick the roster, and then I want to break down just a handful of the players that we have so far. So starting with Willem DeVoe, of course, our captain, Robert Cronin, Jackson Stewart, Xander Lampa, Linus Henstrom, Sebastian Vidmar, Max Andreev, Mason Primeau, a couple players we'll talk about next, Alex DiPaolo, and Jacob Hudson. Those are your 10 forwards. A lot of returning guys, a couple of new guys in there. Pretty exciting group. Defensively, Tristan Thompson coming back, James Maroney just re-signing as well, and then Jackson Bellamy, newcomer coming out of New Brunswick. He's a 6'4", 205-pound defenseman, so should be pretty exciting to see what he can do. And then, of course, fan favorite in net, Brad Arvanitis, returning to the team. Awesome news there. And then, of course, Ethan Pearson coming out of Princeton University will be at least starting camp, probably as the backup. Then we'll see what other goaltenders come down from Providence. It's typically 3 to 4 goalies in camp when you get to the main camp. So we'll be curious to see how that all shakes out. So let's highlight a couple of these guys. We're going to start with Willem DeVoe, a player we all know very, very well. He's our captain. He was named captain roughly halfway through the season. 25-year-old player out of Nova Scotia. 6'2", 205-pound kid, so has a little size to him. Physical player, definitely stands up for teammates. I mean, anytime a Mariner took a bad shot, or got hit, he was right on it. Didn't mind stepping up to bigger guys. That's part of why he's a leader, part of why he's the captain on the club. This will be his 3rd season in Maine. Of course, last year got into 66 games, 19 goals, 12 assists for 31 points, 87 penalty minutes. So again, didn't mind getting his hands dirty, getting into the box. Harvard guy, had all those years at Harvard years ago. One game with Providence, that goes back a couple years ago now, did get into one AHL game. But yeah, great leader for the team. I'm excited to see what he can do this year. Curious to see if his approach changes now that he is officially the captain, where he wasn't a year ago. What does that look like for him? How does that change his responsibilities? How does that change his voice on the ice? I mean, he's always been kind of a leader out there anyway, so something worth watching. I know he's been a big help to the coaching staff, reaching out to players, trying to help recruit players over here to Maine. So, he's bought in. He's enthusiastic. Great to see. Trying to predict stats for players at this level, it's so hard because we know how much the roster can change and players go up and down. 19 goals a year ago, 13 2 years ago. So he's heading in the right direction. Can he be a 25 goal guy this year? I think it's possible. I think he has that in his game. We'll see. We'll see. Moving over to the net, of course, like I said, fan favorite Brad Arvanitis returning to the club. Man, oh man, did this guy have to be patient last year. Um, Great teammate, didn't complain at all last season as he sat and waited behind two AHL goaltenders. Finally was able to get some time, kind of back half of the year. I think he went a month maybe without playing, like between was like December and January. Gets into 23 games. That's down from 35 from the year prior. 2.97 goals against average and 899 save percentage. You go back though 2 years ago, 2.71 goals against a 920 save percentage. And then in that 6-game playoff series, a 1.69 goals against and a 939 save percentage. So, that little bit of a playoff run the team had a couple years ago, he really showed up and was awesome. So my guess is you're going to probably see him more. I mean, again, I'm just guessing. We don't know what other goalies are going to be in camp. We don't know what it all looks like. But, I don't believe you're going to have two AHL goalies on this roster this year. I'd be surprised by that. Maybe we do. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Brad's going to get a lot more playing time this year. And he's earned it. And I would love to see, I'd love to see him earn an AHL contract. He's had tryouts in the past. I think he tried out with, I think it was Hartford, with the New York Rangers a year ago. Would love to see that. And, for any novice fans or casual fans of minor league hockey, how it works is just because the Mariners are a Boston Bruins affiliate, not every player is actually signed by Boston. A lot of them are signed just by the Maine Mariners themselves. So if they want to get promoted, they don't necessarily have to sign with Providence. They can go and look at, Bridgeport or Springfield or Lehigh Valley or wherever. They can go sign any place and actually end up in a different organization altogether. It's all about these guys getting that next opportunity. Brad's been working hard. Let's see, this is, he's going all the way back to 21-22 when he started out with Rapid City. So he's been at this now for a few years. And I think he's been really close to the AHL. Would love to see that happen for this guy. As much as we don't want to lose him here, it'd be great to see him get that opportunity to go up the ladder. Our other netminder right now, Ethan Pearson, 23-year-old out of nearby Fredericton, New Brunswick. He's catches with his left hand. He's 6'2", 201-pound player. Coming out of Princeton a year ago, had 17 games under his belt, 2.33 goals against, and a 913 save percentage, 7-8-2 record with one shutout. So, decent final season for him there in Princeton. Kind of a fun story with Ethan is his granddad is a former NHLer, Jean Marat, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Played back in the 60s and 70s, had some time with Boston. He's known for a couple of things. He had he very famously injured. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to get the name now. Hold on, I may have the name written down here someplace. The famous Detroit, or the Sidler, of course, Sidler from Toronto. My bad, guys. But he had a cross check to Sidler. I think he broke his wrist or something like that. And of course, Sidler was such a huge player for Toronto, and really it's kind of an injury that really affected the rest of his career. So sure, it was accidental. But the other thing he's really known for is he was part of a major trade between Chicago and Boston that brought Phil Esposito to the Boston Bruins, of course, legendary Phil Esposito. So that's quite a trade to be tied to. Of course, Phil was legend here, moved on to the Rangers. Of course, was big in the development of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Has been involved in that organization for a long time. So, yeah, just kind of a cool story when you think about just the NHL pedigree that this kid is bringing with him. So yeah, cool. So it'll be fun to see him and see how he develops, and this will be really his first stint in pro hockey. So be a lot to watch. Couple of recent signings I think that are of really big note and really good gets for the Maine Mariners. This is really where I feel like Coach Kowalsky is putting his signature on this team, and I think he is attracting players to this organization. Again, I'm guessing here, but I assume that some of these guys are looking at Maine now because you've got a head coach with NHL experience, a ton of American League experience, and a guy who's really well known for player development. So if you're one of those kind of fringe guys trying to get to the A, playing for Coach Kowalski is not a bad thing, right? So, first name I'm going to talk about here is Mason Primeau. If the name rings a bell, it's because he has got a ton of NHL pedigree in his family, starting with his father, Wayne Primeau. Has an uncle by the name of Keith Primeau, which I'm sure any hockey fan will remember that name. And it doesn't stop there. He has a cousin, Caden Primeau, who was actually now part of the Carolina Hurricanes organization. Believe he's going to have a real shot to play there this year. We know what the net is like there in Carolina with Freddie Anderson, all the injuries, and he may get an opportunity to be a backup. Probably will spend some time in Chicago with their AHL club too. But yeah, all sorts of pedigree here for him. And of course, he was a 2019 fifth round draft pick of the Vegas Golden Knights and has some time there with Henderson. A few different seasons, actually, 52 games in 21-22. He got into 44 games in 23-24. Last season was with the Reading Royals here in our division, 37 games, 13 goals, 9 assists for 22 points. Had one game up at Lehigh Valley as well. But yeah, 6'5", 203 pound, kind of centerman, left wing type of player. Just I think a real good get for the team. Guy who can score, has some physicality to his game. Just going to be a lot of fun to watch and see how he can develop. And the last player we're going to talk about is the one that we just recently signed, Max Andreev, coming over to the club. Max is 26 years old, coming out of Russia. He's a 6 foot, 183 pound player. He was part of, I think it was a couple years ago, he was on the all rookie team in the ECHL. Also has NHL pedigree. His uncle, Sergey, I'm going to hopefully pronounce this right, Brylin, is his uncle, of course. Sergey, all sorts of time in the New Jersey Devils organization. All sorts of time there between Albany and New Jersey. Yeah, longtime NHLer. You do kind of wonder, with all the time Rick Kowalski had in New Jersey, if there was maybe some sort of connectivity there. I don't know. But really excited about this kid. Again, a little bit of experience now in the ECHL. Been out in Kansas City the last couple of seasons after he finished up his career at Cornell University. Got into 5 AHL games with Coachella Valley. That goes back to 23-24. No points scored, but spent most of that year with the Kansas City Mavericks. Listen to me. Kansas City Mavericks. Let's try that. 63 games 2 years ago, 19 goals, 54 assists for 73 points. And then last year, 50 games with Kansas City, 17 goals, 32 assists for 49 points. So right there, if you are thinking that Kalmakov isn't coming back, and he may not, well, again, we'll see how camp goes for Kalmakov. This is a guy that will certainly help replace some of that scoring that we're going to lose with Brooklyn going up. 30 games of playoffs for Max as well over the last 2 years, has 25 points in those 30 games. Of course, Kansas City has been a very, very good team for the last couple of seasons. So just a great signing, great get for the Maine Mariners. This is a team that kind of struggled a little bit to put the puck in the net last year. Got better later, for sure, as we know. But Max is a kid who's really going to help this team get off to a great start. I can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see what it looks like. Okay, other qualifying offers, and let's talk about some players that haven't signed that maybe we're waiting on. I've been a little bullish here, asking around about some of these guys. I'm not getting much for answers yet, but of course you have Liam Gorman. These are the 5 qualifiers that are left that were signed in July. Liam Gorman, Lennon McCallum, Christian Sarlo, defenseman Corey Dennis, and of course defenseman Michael Underwood. Starting with Gorman, last season got into 62 games with the Allen Americans, 6 goals, 11 assists for 17 points. I believe he was traded to us in the offseason. I probably should have looked that up. I believe that's what it was, just hasn't signed yet. He was a former 6th round draft pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins going back to 2018. Did have 1 year at UMass along with 3 at Princeton. So Again, a guy we picked up in that trade, hasn't signed yet. Hopefully, we'll get this thing done. He's 25 years old, 6'3", Massachusetts native as well. Lyndon McCallum, of course, this is the guy that we picked up a year ago. It just fit in so well. I mean, really changed the game, changed some of the narrative for Maine. When they made the Patty Gay trade, they brought McCallum in. Of course, he's 25 years old, 6'2", 205 pounds. So again, good size there. 44 games last year for the Maine Mariners, 15 goals, 16 assists for 31 points, on top of 28 games with this stat says Idaho. I don't know if that's right though. I'm looking at Hockey DB right now. 28 games, 9 goals, 7 assists for 16 points. I guess I thought he was in Savannah when we made that trade. This might be wrong, guys. But anyway, a couple of teams last year, and as we know, as we remember, fit in so well, and it really gave us a couple of big time scores on this team. I mean, 44 games, 31 points, really, really good for this league, for this level of play. He has options. I think that's kind of what we're waiting on, right? We don't have the CBA done. You have no doubt a kid like this, he's 25 years old. He's been around. He's got 20 AHL games going back to 21, 22. A few years now in the minors. Is he looking at Europe and more money? If he's thinking, man, maybe I'm not going to get back to the A. Maybe I'm not going to get to the NHL. We'll see. But this is a kid who has a lot of options based on how he played those numbers a year ago. And again, just the fact he was able to fit in so seamlessly, halfway through the season, that really plays well when you're recruiting and looking to, to build kind of new culture. Christian Sarlo is another player. Obviously, Penn State guy, got into 10 games a couple years ago when their season ended. But last season, 55 games, 14 goals, 17 assists for 31 points. He's 24 years old now, 6 foot, 187-pound player. Rough start last year, got hurt early in the year, but really his scoring kind of came on late. 31 points there in the 55 games would be a welcome addition back. Really became a good kind of part of the just kind of part of the culture and the fabric of the team last year. He really became an important player, especially late. And I think that giving him another full season as a pro, I think there's a lot of development, a lot of potential there. So I'd love to see Christian come back. Corey Geddes, a couple defensemen here. Corey Geddes, of course, he came over from Orlando a year ago. Total of 37 games, 34 of those with Maine. The 7 assists here. He's 28 years old, Madison, Wisconsin kid, 6 foot, 190-pound player. Again, we need defensemen right now. He's a left shot guy. Again, same idea, fit in well halfway through the season. After we lost, a few different players from the roster, he came in and fit in nicely. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see how he fits in and if he comes back. And then the last one here, Mike Underwood. Mike came in late to camp. He was I think he got signed the day or two before the first game. Ends up getting into 67 games for the team, 5 assists, 88 penalty minutes, really played an important role. Very consistent out there, and something we really needed, especially when they lost Christian Berger a year ago. It was a guy like Underwood that was really able to step up and eat a lot of minutes. And minus 24 on the plus minus, so that's not a great number, but he was out there in a lot of he took a lot of the punishment out there for the team. But I think just given his ability to play that many games and stay healthy, he'd be a really nice guy to bring back as well. Again, only 3 defensemen signed, so we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what it looks like. But all 5 of those guys have those qualifying offers. I think it means, and I may be wrong here, that if they're going to sign the ECHL, they have to sign with Maine unless those rights are traded. Of course, they can sign up to the AHL or elsewhere. But if they ever come back to the ECHL, and I'm not 100% sure how long those qualifying offers are. I think there is a date on those. But yeah, we'll see how many of those 5 come back. Obviously, we'd love to see all 5. Can we get 2 or 3 of them back? More to come. I think you're probably going to see more signings here over the next week to 10 days as this roster continues to come into form. Of course, training camps are opening throughout the NHL here, coming right up. Providence will open, of course, then camps here in Maine will open and around the ECHL. And as players get assigned, we're going to get a much better look of the help we're going to get from Providence, because there will be help coming, I believe, in a much greater wave than we had a year ago. So that's really, really welcome news for the club. So coming up next, guys, I'm going to be working on my Atlantic Division preview. Of course, I just got the Metro out a few days ago. And I am working on a couple more guests. I have Ace from Running with the Devils podcast. He's going to be coming on. Just trying to pinpoint a date to get him back on. We're going to talk New Jersey Devils, give them a good full team preview. Ace is a awesome guy, awesome podcast. If you're just a hockey fan, go check out his channel on YouTube. Definitely worth the listen. Got a couple other guests I'm working on as well. Not ready to announce them quite yet, but I'm very excited about a couple of these names. Fingers crossed I can get at least one of them on before the season starts. And then I do have a little bit of personal news, some exciting stuff that's happening for me this fall. Can't quite talk about it yet. Hopefully soon I'll be able to get that news out to you guys. But listen, everybody, thank you so much for watching and listening tonight. If you're already subscribing to my channel, thank you. I do appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking this out. Really appreciate that as well. If you haven't done so and want to stay updated on all the upcoming shows, hit that subscribe button down below. Helps me out big time. So until next time, everybody, be kind, show love, and God bless.
Check, I'm in the yours. They call me a gold black for just to make them upset. VV's a bustin', can't go no SIs. My jeweler a chef, king of the city. I'm the best of the best. Shorty rollin', shorty tryna get it rollin'. Young and grindin', he gon' get it. Put them keys up in the stoley. He gon' drive 1,000 miles, so his pockets keep on growing. I be skiing all this ice on my neck like a goalie. When she with you, yeah, shorty, she pursuing me. Would hate if I was you, yeah. We the best to do it, baby.